In video number 6 in our KipwareQTE series, we're going to outline just a couple features inside the software that have to do with the operation of the software. One of the things is obviously we can do inch or metric, any currency symbol that's available that you need to use, we can do that. Also, the QTE database path can be defined. And what this means is we can store all our database files on a central location, say on a server, and then we can point the software to look at that location on the server. So that means multiple users are all using the same database files. So again, we're going to add more consistency and easy to keep track of information by putting those databases in a central location. We can do some customization to the software, so we have some drop-down boxes when you go to create a quotation, which payment terms, shipping options, and all of these can be customized. We also have some notes. If you're using our pre-printed quotation form, we've got 4 notes at the bottom of that form, and you can define those notes in this particular form, so you can customize that form a little bit as well. When we start an estimate, first thing we do normally is estimate information, so we're going to put in some reference information, customer name, print number, that kind of information. So you can see we can just put some information in here based on the part we're doing, part number, date of the estimate, revision. But then at the bottom we have a base quantity. So this is, we can have up to 6 different quantities when we actually go to create a quotation, but what we're going to do is we start out with a base quantity. Also, we start out with a scrap percentage. Let's say we put in 2% scrap. What's going to happen is, rather than just stopping at the scrap percentage, we're going to allow the user to define where does that scrap get taken place. Maybe it's just in the preparation of the material, maybe it's in the tooling and labor, so it's in the manufacturing of the part, or maybe in the non-machining as well. So at the end of the process, there's a possibility we could scrap the part. If it's just in the manufacturing process, we can unclick non-machining, and now these costs associated will be added to the cost estimate. So at a 2% scrap rate, we're going to amortize the cost, and we're going to include the cost of the scrap into the estimate that you're creating. But very easy to do, base quantity, scrap percentage, and telling where that scrap percentage might come into play. In addition to the databases of material, tooling, labor, and non-machining costs, we also have a markup percentage database. Again, for each of the areas of the quote, material, tooling, labor, programming and setup, and non-machining costs. These can each have their own separate markup percentage, and as the costs are being calculated, the markup percentage is automatically being amortized into the quote. If you look at any of the screens, let's say we look at the material cost estimating screen, you can see that the markup percentage coming from the database is automatically displayed on the form, and you can always change this at any time. So again, with the power of the PC, it's very easy to do what-if scenarios using a different markup percentage to see how the costs would be calculated and what the costs would be based on different markup percentage. But you can store the defaults in a database, and they always come up in each of the screens. Of course, anytime that you're doing an estimate, you can also just do the calculate costs. This is going to give you a complete breakdown of what's happening inside your estimate. You can see the high areas. Maybe material cost is a little bit too high for the pieces that you're going to make. Maybe call around, see if you can get a better cost on your material. If that's the case, very easy to come into the material, change the cost, do a calculate cost, and again, everything is updated. So it's very easy to do what we call what-if scenarios inside the software. Make a change and see how it reflects in the price that you're going to be quoting. So you can send out a quote or an estimate that you're comfortable with. This form is also going to give you a complete breakdown of what's happening. Let's take a look at the labor cost. You can see for each of the operations that we've got the number of hours, the cost, number of hours, cost per part for each of the operations that we have that's determining the labor cost. Tooling costs as well, we're looking at the number of tools required, the total cost for those tools, the total cost per part, a complete breakdown of everything that's involved in the tooling costs, also non-machining costs in the material. You can also print this. So this is one very detailed bill of material. When the job comes in and you need to get a bill of material that's really in-depth, you can do it through this particular form as well. Bring the cost estimate back, simply do a calculate costs, and then print the form. As we outlined in the beginning videos, we can create a quotation with up to 6 different quantities based on our estimate that we created. We can print that to a pre-printed form. We can do it to a CSV file so we can bring it into Excel, or we can print it to a text file that we can bring into Word and we can massage. Order processing comes into play. We can create a bill of materials. This is a little bit less in-depth than the calculate costs bill of materials, but both are available. We can print a packing slip when the job is ready to ship. We can also print an invoice directly from the estimate when the job is ready and been delivered. So those are some of the features outside of the estimating process in QTE and how the software operates. It's very user-friendly, it's very multi-user friendly, and it gives the user a lot of options for reports, bill of materials, packing slip, invoices, outside the realm of just creating a cost estimate and quotation.